Hey, my music people. Do you like old vinyl records? Do you like music that maybe is a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll? Welcome, everybody, to Dustin's Vinyl with your hosts, Dustin, Chafin, and Anthony Kapfer.
Hey,
you're not even going to try.
I keep thinking that the Benny Hill music is going to be replaced. And so I never learned how to play it. And then every week it's the same.
Well, here's what you can't do on a show like this. You can't just make a joke about, yeah, I love the Benny Hill music, and then not think he's going to play it every time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I was kidding about it, and then he just continues to play it because
so
that's the kind of sense of humor. Our producer, the golden god of ComedyHub, Big JJJ. I don't know if I know
that's what you call him, Big JJJ.
Big JJJ, yeah, because I can't remember his last name right now, so I just call him Big JJJ.
It does start with
I don't think he wants a last name. Yeah, he wants to be incognito.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What is that?
I turned I turned an extra light on.
Oh yeah.
I just figure, it's all about this face right here, so I gotta make sure it's well.
Your hair looks a little straight today. Did you straighten it with a straightening iron?
I just haven't washed it. So I slept on it, and
all right, folks, we're doing a GoFundMe for some shampoo for Anthony. So if you guys could tip us out today, use some money. Some people tell me they make money on these Twitch shows. I don't know how they do it. They have some bell they ring, and I'm like, dude, we've never made a dollar. I don't know.
I mean, I try to mention that people can tip, but there's only so much they're going to do,
Right? Yeah, it's tough. This is it's a rough racket, this online comedy talk show thing.
Yeah. We will listen to records for food.
It's the new cable access. What were those shows? Cable access? Is that what it is?
Like the
like Wayne's
QFC
World.
or whatever. Oh, that was public access. Yeah,
public access, not cable access. Public access show. That's what it is. So what's up, buddy? Happy New Year! Holy shit!
Happy New Year! It's a new year.
It's 2022. I didn't think you'd live this long, Anthony.
I didn't either. Honestly.
Jumped off a bridge by now. It's good to see you, buddy. Glad you're here.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. This is, I'm excited. It's like, Christmas was good. Did you have a good Christmas? All that stuff?
Yeah, Christmas was cool. That was like the last time we did anything. We went and saw Amber's family, and then now the numbers are getting crazy with COVID, so we're just home doing nothing.
Are they getting crazy, or is that just what they're telling us? I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea. I'm leaning towards
it seems bad. It seems
I started out liberal, and then now, when you just want people to go out to comedy clubs, you're like, it's fine. It is a hoax,
Oh, yeah. Well,
Jeff gets excited. Meanwhile, he's had 4 friends die. All right.
Everyone I know is sick right now, so I'm just like, I guess I'll just lean harder into these virtual shows.
Yeah, it's been good for you because you're kind of a hermit anyway. So
yeah, I'm loving it. You know what it is? I'm like in the Beatles phase when they stopped touring and then they just recorded 2 albums every year, and it was like their weirdest stuff. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd compare myself to the Beatles, but yeah, I'm with you a little bit.
I'm working on my. I'm kind of like the Beach Boys there too. I'm like working on my pet sounds right now. So.
I think you're talented, but there's a little bit of a gap. You want to fill that before you get to Beatles territory. But that's cool.
But you know what I mean.
No,
going from touring and hustling every night to just being home, working on ideas.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is you got to tour in places where, they don't give a shit about COVID. That's what I do. I mean, I got a run coming up. It's like, it's Florida, it's Texas, it's Louisiana. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So it's
but I don't know if I want to be around those kind of people.
The money's good, bro.
Yeah. All right. Do you need a musical?
We might. It's well, that's how it is. We're desperate artists. We'll do anything. We'll perform and risk COVID for a couple of bucks.
It was easier to stay home last year when there was unemployment. This year, I'm finding it harder to
I think
resist.
You're getting a check, bro. I think that's Mr. Joe is going to give you a check. I think there's some more stimuluses are coming.
He better
stop
stimulate this.
You're gonna get somebody you don't like elected. You keep talking like that.
I don't like this guy.
That's what you guys did last time. What are you gonna vote for, Jill Stein? Come on, man. All right. That's what's going to happen. Yep. And then you're going to complain about that. Oh, nobody says nicer to Sloppy Joe. Well, Sloppy Joe, you guys are going to run him out. All right. Why did we get political? I have no idea. Did you get anything cool for Christmas? Any gifts?
What did I get?
Shirt?
I got some clothes and stuff. I got so one of the gifts that I got, I forget what it actually was, but it was in this. You ever see these prank boxes? So you think that it's the gift, but what they're showing on the box is a joke, and your real gift.
That's what your girlfriend got you, a prank box.
No, somebody in her family. So I opened this box and it said it was cargo socks, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then you look and they show pictures of how you can use the cargo socks, and one of the pictures was like a pocket for your shrimp. And I was like, wait a minute, this isn't real. And then it was something else inside. I forget.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that was.
Yeah. One time, my brother, like, he got kicked out of an apartment or something, and so they went and put shrimp inside the like the rail, like where the curtains are, like in the rods or something. Yeah, and then just stunk up the whole place. That's the kind of family I have.
I love it.
You kick us out, we're not paying the rent. We'll stink that shit up.
You get anything good? What'd you get? I
got this Motorhead album that I wanted for a long time. This is Bastards. I think it's one of the best. I haven't even opened it yet. Motorhead albums. It's got my favorite song, "Born to Raise Hell," which it's. I literally wanted this album for that song. You ever do that where it's like,
yes,
there's one song that you want. I mean, Motorhead's always great, but that's my favorite Motorhead song. So it's "Born to Raise Hell."
I don't know that album. I gotta check it
gets you going, man. It really does. And so I got this album. Pretty excited about it. And excited to get back, throw it on there, annoy the neighbors.
Yeah,
that's one of those albums that'll get you some knocks on the door.
Yeah, they're like, hey, please turn it down. I realized I goofed. I totally goofed because I got a record that I could have. It's in the other room. So
yeah, way to be on point with. But
what I did get was the re-release of Let It Be. It's like the 5 record set where you have all the stuff that you saw in the Get Back documentary. Yeah,
I hadn't seen that yet. It seems pretty cool though.
It's great. I recommend the documentary, and the record's cool too. If only I had it in the room with me. It's got like this hardcover book that it comes with.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's got like
Does it have some of the
details,
them like talking and stuff, or
it has I didn't listen to all of it yet, but it's got some like rehearsal and alternate takes, and the one record is just that kind of stuff.
I hear they chew a lot of gum in that. That's what somebody said. They just chew gum all day. That's how you come up with hits that like the Beatles. You just chew gum.
I've been chewing a lot of gum, so I think that's probably why I'm as good as the Beatles now.
I think so. I've always said that. You compare yourself to the Beatles a lot. I just want you to know that. Speaking of Beatles, I'm in Maine. I'm in the mountains of Maine. People always say, lobster. No, it's mountains, rural Maine, like in the middle of nowhere. And it's been great. A lot of snow, been, very storybook Christmas, been a lot of fun. But it was like there's this antique store, and they always have records, and they don't know what they're worth. So it's great. It's like they obviously don't watch the shows, so they don't know the value of vinyl. And so I got a couple of records. I got, rest in peace, Charlie Watts. This is a really cool album. This is when he did like a orchestra thing. Like he is like a 32-piece jazz band. He got like 10 saxophone players. He does percussion and xylophone and stuff. This is really great, man. It's he was always a jazz guy. Like in the beginning, like he always wanted that jazz sound. And then there's some cool, actually in the back of this, it talks about like when he first started drumming, his first drum was he couldn't afford a drum set. So he had a banjo in the house, which, we always have a random banjo lying around.
Yeah, we can all relate.
He like broke the neck off the banjo and had an erector set. You know what those are? You're kind of young.
I had an erector set.
And like built a stand and so used the base of the thing and was playing drums and started that because it's very jazz sounding, if you whatever. So anyway, this is great. This is just a kind of a departure from, obviously the Rolling Stones, but it's nice, good jazz, good stuff. It's like a good full rich album if you want some different. It's live at the Fulham Town Hall. And so it was really cool. What's cool about this too is all the dialogue on the back of this album. And he talks about just trying to relate to the jazz musicians, which is really funny. because it's like, I open for people that are just millionaires. And then, and then that's kind of what he did. He was like working with these, the Rolling Stones, but then he's working with these jazz musicians and they're like gig to gig. So he just talks about how they didn't know if they're going to have a gig till they get a phone call. And so I could relate to that.
Yeah. That's like being a comedian. That's like,
that's what I'm saying. It's gig to gig. It's very, I've always compared jazz to comedy. But anyway,
when I saw Whiplash, I was like, man, this is because I'm a drummer and comic. I was like, I relate to this all the way around.
I used to coach until I started throwing microphones at comics' heads for being hacks. It's a fucking hack, and just throw them. And so not only did I get the Charlie Watts, then I get, this is a real find. This is the first Rolling Stones album. And this is first release, Europe.
Wow, original press, European press.
Yeah, this is great. It's it has everything but the free full color photo, which was not in here. But I looked out on eBay, and it's still worth like a couple $100, and I got it for like 15. So
does the European one? Is it like the Beatles albums where it has extra songs that they took off for the American releases?
I'm going to say no. This is kind of, what's great about this album, I didn't like this at first. Like, I remember I went down a hole. I was trying to listen to the Rolling Stones early stuff. And I was like, they're just hacking blues artists or whatever.
Yeah.
But what it is they're getting their sound through this. So this is mostly covers, but it's, Route 66 and all that. I mean, how many freaking bands have covered that song? But
it's a requirement.
Yeah, it is. I think you learn how to be a band if you cover Route 66. But it's really cool. It's the first. It's interesting to hear, the beginnings of the sound. And so, you hear some Keith Richards kind of finding it, and then it has Brian Jones, who I believe died, right? And he got drowned in a pool or something. So, but yeah, this is a really cool album. Got this, and then we were just listening to the radio, and which is always fun because you don't listen to the radio that much. And Lowrider came on.
Wow.
Which is one of my favorite, like, just groovy songs. And so when I was digging through vinyl, I got the War Greatest Hits, which, that song is on here. And War is a cool band. They're a funky ass band, man. And let's see here, not a white dude to be found in this band. Are you playing some War for me?
I can't play it.
Sounds exactly the same.
I'm trying to do Lowrider. I can't figure out the rest of the riff.
You know what? I appreciate you trying. I really do. But this little insert here, which is so funny. Like, look at all the black dudes on this. This is like, there's no white people ever on this. This is like, that's what's so great about it. That's why it's so good. There's no white people involved. But yeah, War's Greatest Hits was great. So yeah, that's that's what's great about little antique stores and stuff.
Yeah.
So go into places that aren't vinyl stores, and you're gonna find some good finds, that you wouldn't find in a record store, because most record stores know what they have. They know what things are worth. They know the value. They're on the pulse of the eBay market and all that stuff. But you go to these antique places where they're selling like, bomber jackets and like, just stuff that's like vintage clothing and stuff. It's like they don't always know what their vinyl is. So it's a good way to rip people off and just buy it there and then sell it and make some cash. So yeah, that's my intro. Pretty exciting, huh? All right,
great.
So yeah,
you got some nice records. Original presses of some pretty classic records. That's great.
Got a new hat. I got a new Stetson.
Ooh, that is nice.
Isn't that nice? This is the Stardust. This is the brand new Stetson Open Road. So very excited. Not a fedora. Repeat, not a fedora. So, very excited to have a new hat. I always feel like I'm ready for it. You got to get it.
And it's called, what's the name of it again?
It's a Stardust is the color.
I tried.
You playing Stardust? All right.
Ziggy Stardust?
Ziggy Stardust. There you go. That's it. There it is.
Yeah, it's in there. It's one of those. Anyway, I'm doing my best. This is off the cuff. It's off the cuff.
I'm celebrating you. There's nobody. There's nobody listening, watching. It's just us, bro. So nobody cares. This show is for us. This is an open mic talk show. That's what it is. All right. So we're going to bring in our other open micers. Very funny co-host here on Dustin's Vinyl. We have Jeffrey Paul and Adam Holtz, everybody. Nice.
Okay.
That was a mishmash.
That was
sound there.
That was something.
Oh, Jeff, don't come in negative, man. Just because you got the perfect wave in your hair going right now.
I need you on bass, Jeff. Can you play the bass?
Something.
Yeah, play the bass, Jeff. Play something.
I can play the drums.
You keep talking. We'll get a drum set. You got the money. Get a drum set.
I don't have the space. That's the whole thing. I would love to get a.
We'll buy a new house, Jeff. You have the cash.
Yeah, do it.
You did good things with your money. Anthony and I just buy it on frivolous shit.
Yes.
How was your holiday? Did you have a good Christmas?
Was good, thanks. Yeah. How was you guys?
Good New Year's. Did you do anything? Did you perform on New Year's or anything?
No, what happened? My wife has COVID.
Oh God!
No.
Yeah, no, she's back on the road to recovery, but she got it on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. I'm sorry. And the one thing I've always said, and I thought about you a lot during the holiday, Dustin, because right before COVID, you always used to book me at Greenwich for those two shows on New Year's Eve, and those were fun. Those were really fun shows, but I always got home in time. Like went to Brooklyn, and I've spent every New Year's with my son since he's been born. So unless it's convenient or the money is outrageous, I never not want to be with him unless he decides he's going to go away or do something. So, you know, because you never know. We're not guaranteed tomorrow.
No, we're not. Way to bring the room down. But yeah. My wife's got COVID, and we might not be here tomorrow. Thanks, guys. All right. Way to keep the show peppy. Okay.
These are the times
Adam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty
good. Did you almost die or something? You got something to add in here? What's going on with you? How you doing, Adam? Did you have a good New Year's? You always party. Did you party this year?
No, it was pretty low key. I spent New Year's just watching movies and TV. Saw the new Cobra Kai.
Here we go.
Fantastic.
Cobra Kai. Did you binge the whole thing?
Pretty much, just over 2 nights.
Yeah. How is it? Bunch of girls fighting, right? That's what's happening this season.
Just 2. Well, actually, no, 3. 3.
3 girls fighting. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I prefer mud wrestling, but
this season could be wrapped up by saying the return of Terry Silver.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy from the fourth one, right?
From the third one.
Third.
Fourth is Hillary Swank, right?
Yes, but no Daniel.
Okay. No Daniel, Hillary Swank, and then the third one's this guy with the ponytail. That's right. Made him climb some mountain or something, right?
Right. He was a wealthy industrialist who put all his energy and resources into winning the local karate contest.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's the music like in this season? What kind is it? Because is it metal or like what's happening with the soundtrack?
Depends on who is shown. Like whenever they show Johnny, it's classic 80s metal.
Like, give me something. Like who? Like it's Cinderella. Like what's happening?
No. They've never. You don't really hear Cinderella. You hear Twisted Sister. You'll hear
Twisted Sister.
White Snake.
White Snake. What song? Here I Go.
Yeah, Here We Go is kind of like a staple on that show.
Still the Night is one of my favorites. Even though it's very Zeppelin, it's such a great song. It's one of the best beginnings of any rock song. I think it's just so good.
That was the song that hooked me into them.
Yeah, it was good because you thought it was Zeppelin, and then you're like, "Oh, did Zeppelin have a new song?"
They were the Greta Van Fleet of that era.
Yeah, that was cool. So, what movies did you watch, Adam? What else did you do?
I watched The Matrix Resurrections.
What'd you think of that?
I
didn't finish
saw
it.
that too.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I think, and it's very divisive. I just liked how meta it was. I thought it really. I really hated Matrix Revolutions. I thought this movie kind of redeemed it in a way.
Okay. It's kind of like Balboa, probably with Rocky V, right? Just kind of redeemed it.
Yeah,
because
it was such a bad movie.
Great.
I didn't see the third one.
You didn't see the third one? I don't think you need to. It's kind of like Godfather.
You don't need to.
I was a little confused. Why was he like back in the regular world and not still in the Matrix if this was the fourth movie? I don't know how he got back to having a regular job.
Well, don't spoil it for people. But yeah. I don't know. I kind of tapped out on that movie. It was good though. I'll finish it if you said it's good, Adam. But
I think it's worth it.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Keanu, he looks great, seems like a cool, I don't know. I wonder if it holds up, because I feel like what we're in now is worse than the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like whatever negative things happen in the Matrix, we can challenge it with what we're going through as a society. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Eventually you're like, just take the DVR off your face and things will be normal. All right.
In the
VR, whatever it's called, right. DVR. I don't know. I DVR. You're my tech guy. You do all my tech. Look at that fancy background. You and Anthony are the tech guys. I'm in a barn with like a dartboard behind me. I got nothing. It's literally a barn. This is where we recorded the album, though, Anthony, right here.
Right. Yeah. I only saw the green screen, so.
Yeah, this is it.
That's great to see.
The in-laws are potters. They just retired this year. But this is where they made all their pottery and stuff. They make nice pottery, cool stuff.
Ooh.
But so we recorded an album in here, and it sounds serious, kind of cool. Check it out. All right, so today is Country Day. We're gonna do Country Month, which is it's like a lot of people shit on country music. A lot of people like it, so it's that's another thing that's very divided in this country. It's like a lot of people aren't into country; they think they're too good for it. But pretty excited for today's album. And Jeff, take it away.
All right, so I like country music. I always liked country music. My father, who he really wasn't a big music guy, but he always did play country. He was a big Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings guy, the old school country guys. And in 1993, this album really stood out to me. It really popped. There was something about Dwight Yoakam, which I found, besides the music, just being like a cool guy. He kind of had like a rock star vibe to him. He had like a charisma. He later on becomes a fantastic actor, I think. If you ever saw Sling Blade, he's tremendous in it. And in 93, he releases an album called This Time. And it's kind of like a return for him, because he had been away from music for about 3 years. Kind of took a little break, a 3-year layoff. He's a country artist, but this album kind of incorporates more pop and rock elements in it. You could really hear it in a song like Fast As You, which is, to me, an amazing, not just country song, it's just a great song. It's hard to not like that song. He collaborated with a songwriter at the time. He was a Greek guy, country songwriter named Costas, and he's pretty much known for, at the time, Patty Loveless was kind of like a big country star, and he had written her breakout album. I love the singles from this time. I think the song Ain't That Lonely Yet is a great pop song. Slower pop song, but it's a great pop song. 1,000 Miles from Nowhere is a great song. And like I said, Fast As You. I'm not sure, but I think he did this on SNL. And that's where I may have seen it, for the first time. And like I said, got me hooked. This album, because you listen to this and you go back and listen to other albums by Dwight Yoakam, and this was more electric guitar oriented on these songs, as opposed to like traditional country where you have more fiddles and steel guitar. Not that those songs were left out, because if you look at a song like Try Not to Look So Pretty, it's a beautiful ballad where he does incorporate steel guitar and fiddle playing. But I think the three singles are really strong. The only problem is I don't think the rest of the album can holds up to those three singles. I think those singles are just so good and so powerful. Songs like Home for Sale, Two Doors Down, they're okay, but not as good as again, Fast As You, I think, is just great. It's like his, Dazed and Confused or whatever. For Dwight Yoakam, this was like a huge success for him. It was definitely the most albums he ever sold. And it turns out to be the best of his career. So I suggest people check it out. It's not a 10 out of 10. To me, it's more of like an 8 out of 10. But I really enjoyed it. And this also brought me into like starting to then get into Garth Brooks and all the other kind of like pop country artists. So Dwight Yoakam this time.
Cool. Yeah, I love Dwight Yoakam, one of my favorite country artists and regular artists of all time. Seen him live probably like maybe 4 times. Every time he's fantastic. Yeah, I mean he's to me, he's a throwback country artist. You know, it's like I feel like country music started to get a little too poppy. I wouldn't really call him poppy at all, even though some of his songs were popular and maybe got some radio play. To me, he's more closer to the foundation of country. You know, he's that 70s sound. Buck Owens was kind of his mentor, who is an incredible picker, you know, from Hee Haw or whatever. But it's Bakersfield is kind of this kind of, you know, it's a people don't talk about Bakersfield enough. They always talk about Nashville and Memphis and stuff, but you know, Bakersfield, a lot of great guitarists and banjo players come out of there. But I love him too. I think it's one of those kind of just it's a very twangy sound that I like in my country. The fact that he incorporates the electric guitar, and that's very 70s too. A lot of the 70s guys started kind of being a little more electric. And Waylon Jennings and some of those guys started adding a little more of that. But 1,000 Miles of Nowhere, I remember there was a movie called Red Rock West. And I think it's a Nick Cage movie, but that song is in there. And it's a great movie, but the song really stands out. It's like they play the whole song. But this is, I like this album from the beginning to the end. I think it's, you're not going to have every song is going to be 1,000 Miles of Nowhere, but it's, I feel like it starts out, Pocket of a Clown is solid, and it's just a good song. This time, Two Doors Down, King of Fools, I like it all. I think it's a perfect country album. I think it's, it just has that sound that I like, which is kind of just old school. But it's kind of, it rings well. It's tight. It's only like 42 minutes, which is great. They don't give you too much, you don't thing is with country. It's like, you don't want too much country, you need just enough. And so I think it teases you with just enough. The songs are short and tight, but I love Dwight Yoakam and everything he does. A lot of his covers are great. His Suspicious Minds is one of the greatest covers of that of all time. It's
Absolutely.
so good. He, when Prince died, he did a Purple Rain. That was great. That last album that he did was really good. I think that's on there, the Purple Rain cover. But Dwight Yoakam is a badass. He dated Sharon Stone when she was like right out of Basic Instinct. You got to respect the guy for that. And so he's great. And it's old school. His style is great. He's got the fringe and the hat and low. And he was a big influence on me as a performer. A lot of kind of my style has a look to Dwight and stuff. And so I'm very inspired by him and his coolness, if you will. But he's great, man. He can pick, man. That guy can play. That's the thing, is like people can be good country artists, but can they really play? I mean, I would put him up against any rock guitarist. Like, he can really get down and pick. So I'm happy you chose this album. I think it's probably one of the best. I mean, one of my favorites is Guitars and Cadillacs and, Streets of Bakersfield. I mean, he has a lot of other songs that I like. Maybe they're a little more in my repertoire or whatever, but I like this album. I think it's solid. And I think it's a good introduction to a country, if you're just curious about it. Cause a lot of people, like I said, shit on it. I think it's good. I think it's great. Cause, before this, it was like Urban Cowboy. Like, that was a big, in the 80s, like that was Mickey the sound. Billy. Yeah. And now there's some really good songs in that album, a lot of good 70s country. And then I felt it, like I said, it took a dip, and then this sound kind of brings it back. And then today's music, there's some good country guys out there like Sturgill Simpson, Chris Stapleton, and those guys to me are very Dwight Yoakam. They have like that sound that he has. So, but I dig this album. I think it's really good. And
I think when it comes to songwriting, for me, I really like a great riff. I think a great riff kind of brings you and hooks you in. And I think, and a lot of people, associate it with like a good rock song. But when I think that's why I like As Fast As You. That Fast As You riff, that down, that really gets you in. And that's coming from a country song. I think this is a really, really special song. I've listened to it for years. It's a song I've never, ever gotten bored of.
Yeah, that's a great song. And if you've ever, I'm not just talking to you, Anthony, but if you've ever had a woman break your heart, Ain't That Lonely Yet is a great song. It's the lyrics on that are just so good. Like, I ain't that lonely yet. Like it's just such a good,
Ain't diving in there. Yep.
Yeah. but I love lyrically, I really love that song. I think that's my favorite on the album lyrically.
Great one.
It's just really gets to you, where it's just like, because you're always in love, you're always wondering, should I go back? And then you're like, so that's what that song kind of like identifies with me. All the bad relationships I've had in my life.
Love it.
Cool. So Anthony, what do you got? What do you think about Dwight Yoakam?
Oh boy. Okay. It's not the kind of country music that I like at all. I don't like this sound. I don't like the production. I don't like that kind of vocal affectation that he has. I really
don't like the nasal twang.
No. As soon as the first song kicked in, I was like, oh boy, no, this is not for me.
Knew it.
That's okay. That's all right. It's all right. I mean, I pretended to like that band last time you did, but cheek face. Okay. Anyway,
like cheek face.
No, but I get it. I mean, you like probably, what do you like? A little more bluegrass? Is that kind of what you're into?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I like Johnny Cash, and I like.
He's very Johnny Cash, like a lot of
maybe.
The style.
I mean, it could have been the production.
Not in his vocal style. He's not.
The vocal style's not.
It's still that older sound though.
It had electric guitar and a lot of reverb, and I like Dolly Parton. I think like the Jolene album is a great album. That's not. I'm trying to, to give you a range of different types of country that I like.
Well, you like Jolene because the Stripes covered it, but would you have liked it if they hadn't covered it? Probably not.
I think
what I mean? I feel people like Dolly Parton because of shit like that. I'm like, all right, because her early Dolly Parton is very twangy, old Grand Ole Opry. It's very much like this,
which generally I don't like, but I think I don't mind it with her.
Well, think about it like this. Let me say it before,
I like some John Prine stuff. That's it. That's all. I'm just trying to give you an idea.
I was just gonna ask you this question. It's like, here's the thing with me. It's kind of like I don't love the saxophone, in jazz, but I love Coltrane.
Yeah,
because he's so good at playing saxophone. So I separate not liking something when I know something's good. Just because it's not something that's in my thing to listen to. It's still, I know it's good, so I can see it for being good. So do you see him for being good is what I'm asking? Because I feel like you're just shitting on him without kind of really absorbing him as an artist, because he can fucking play guitar, bro.
Oh yeah, he can play, and it's like the songs are well put together, but I just don't like, I don't like that sound. There's not really a way to present that sound to me that's going to make me, I don't think he's like a shitty guitar player or anything like that.
Does he come off cool to you?
No.
Really?
Not this sound, but I know that he's a cool guy because he's like an old school country guy, right? He's not just, this came out in 93, but he's not like a...
Right, but he was around before that.
Yeah. So I can recognize that maybe he was cool. But, it's like, to me, it's maybe like if you heard like Paul McCartney's stuff in the 80s and you're like, yeah, but he's Paul McCartney. He's cool.
Yeah, I think you're missing the boat on this. But that's okay. I mean, I think you can not like the sound, but it's like, but I don't think you know enough of the artist. I would almost like want you to listen to more albums, to really get a grasp of him. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. We listen to one album.
Does he have more acoustic stuff?
He does. His Purple Rain is phenomenal. He does banjo. Plays Purple Rain on banjo, bro. And I'm telling you, it's the best I've ever heard.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, he's cool. I get it. That's the beauty of this show. If nobody shits on the album, it's not a good show.
I'm trying to do it as gently as I can.
No, you don't have to be gently. It's like, you like a lot of punk rock stuff, and like some of those guys can't play for shit, but it's about the vibe of what they do. This guy can play. It's like, it's more, it's like talent versus vibe, to me.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing, I've never claimed he doesn't have talent. I just don't like what he's doing on this album.
That's okay. That's all right.
Sounds
Adam.
like you would keep away from Mellencamp Dwight Yoakam tour.
No, well, first of all, no. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't put Dwight Yoakam and John Mellencamp in the same. That's a totally different thing. I think
You can see them both playing at Farm Aid.
you can see everybody playing at Farm Aid. It's Willie Nelson, dude.
I liked when he was.
Do you like Willie Nelson at all?
I like some Willie Nelson. Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite older country? Like, who do you like besides Johnny Cash? Obviously,
Besides
people like Johnny
Johnny
because he's on a T-shirt. But if you,
I like, I like Hank Williams.
Okay, senior or third?
The first one.
First one. Okay. You ever heard the third?
I think I tried to get into it. I don't know. I don't think I liked it as much. It was much more.
It's like kind of punk. It's very punk. Like, it's like punk and country. It's really cool, actually.
I got to check it out. I'll check it out again. It was very different.
Yeah, that's what's cool about it.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, save me here. What's going on?
All right,
you hate it too? I'm done with the show. If you guys both hate it,
I actually really enjoyed it. So what I thought was interesting was that Dwight Yoakam started by ditching Nashville, heading to LA and playing in punk and rock clubs in LA.
That's pretty cool, Anthony.
It is pretty cool. And for this album you're talking about?
No, just how he started his career.
Oh, started his career.
But
I was going to say, in 93, this was not really like a very cool type of music.
It was a very cool type of music.
It was different.
In 93.
Especially for country.
Yeah, Anthony, it's like trying to put jazz next to hard metal. Like you can't, it's nothing not cool about it. It's just a different genre of music. I know you were all about the Soundgarden stuff, but it's still cool. Just because it wasn't some kids from Seattle doesn't mean it wasn't cool. It doesn't make it less cool because they weren't doing heroin. You know what I mean?
The heroin made it pretty cool though.
No, but you can't say it's not cool because it wasn't what you like. Yeah. That's very
nice. Garth had already come out, and he kind of started to change.
Cool. There's nothing cool about Garth
Brooks. But he started to change country music, where country music was becoming more mainstream.
He was very arena. Yeah, he's great at what he does. But
to me, that this album sounded similar. Like I could see them on a bill together. I could see
totally different. No, not even close. Not even close. This is not the same kind of sound as like a Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is bigger. It's a bigger sound. Whenever I've seen Dwight Yoakam with small audiences, he's not an arena guy. It's not. It's totally different. It's more of a Brooks and Dunn. Brooks and Dunn. That's more Garth Brooks.
Where did you see Dwight?
I've seen him all over. I've seen him at Roseland. I've seen him at Terminal 5.
Smaller venues.
Yeah, places, smaller places. But same with some festival stuff. But yeah, he's more of a, it's more smaller venue stuff. He's not an arena guy. I mean, he's big enough to do that, but but that's cool. I'm with you, Anthony. I love you anyway. But I'm going to fight you a little bit. You seem to just hate all the bands that I love. So that's fine. And all the bands that Jeff loves. And so we get it. We get what you're doing here. All right.
I got to shake things up.
Adam, let's go back to Adam.
All right. So for me, I like the twangier, sadder, kind of more honky tonk bar songs that were in there.
Honky tonk, exactly. That's what he is, honky tonk.
Yeah. So Lonesome Roads, King of Fools, Ain't That Lonely Yet, Two Doors Down, and Home for Sale. I almost got a kind of Roy Orbison vibe off of him on King of Fools and Ain't That Lonely Yet. Especially King of Fools. I mean, you can almost hear that Orbison in his voice. The one song I really didn't like was 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. I kind of felt that I would hear that song in a Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville.
Okay.
I mean, it's also one of his popular songs on there. I really, as soon as Home for Sale hit was when I really started getting into the album.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's kind of like a band that they do a song that's for everybody, and then they do a song that's kind of more true to what they are. So I feel like he's more of a honky tonk guy. Like he paid his dues, playing. In fact, he's punk clubs and stuff. He's a very broad guy. But yeah, 1,000 Miles of Nowhere. I just think it's a rich song. Like I just think it makes you I don't know. It's just like it's a full song. I like it. It's kind of have some emotion to it. I don't know. Anyway, good stuff. I try to ask who people liked for who their favorite country artists were. Do you have anybody on there? Adam?
Let's see. There's a bunch of comments. I've just got to kind of scroll through this.
I can find it too.
Let's see. We got
Dustin,
Dolly.
Who's your favorite?
Favorite what?
Country artist.
Country artist?
Is it Dwight Yoakam?
He's up there. He's definitely up there. I like the Mount Rushmore, I like Johnny, I like Waylon Jennings, I like Merle Haggard.
George Strait. Are you a fan of George Strait?
I'm a fan of like George Strait's voice, but that's not cool to me either. Like that's not like Dwight Yoakam at all. George Strait is more basic country. And to me, Dwight's a little more rock and roll, a little more punk, a little different, little, and like I said, this is the only album you're listening to. You can't, it's like when we did that cult thing, I was just like, dude, you can't just judge one album off of like an entire band. But, it's I don't know. What'd somebody else say?
All right. So we got, let's see, we got Holly G says Dolly is my spirit country singer. We got Hanky Panky 2926 says Waylon Jennings.
Nice. Waylon is the man.
I think that's all we have right now.
I just want to say fuck Dolly Parton. Let me tell you why.
Whoa, really? Wow.
Dolly Parton is a genius. She's got a great voice and an amazing songwriter. But it was about 3 years ago. 2 years, maybe 2 years ago. Well, before COVID, whenever that was, 3 years ago. And so my girl, like, it's her birthday coming up, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to, I'm looking, what can we do? I'm going to like look for things to do for my girl, for her birthday. And then Dolly Parton is going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan. And I'm like, holy shit, let's do this. This is amazing. So I'm like, all right. So I got the tickets. The tickets were not cheap. It's like $300 tickets. Like it was, but I was like, I'm going all in.
Great venue to see her in.
Well,
absolutely.
I'm not finished. And so I get, I get these tickets and, we get there and, people are freaking out. There's people like impersonators. They got the blonde wigs on with the big fake boot. Like everybody's so into Dolly being at this venue. Right. So we got good seats. The seats are kind of up in the balcony, but it's Hammerstein, so it's small. So you can anywhere is a good place to see him. I actually saw Dwight there also. Jeff,
it's a great venue.
So we get our tickets, and so we're all excited, and then all of a sudden Dolly Parton comes on. Right, she comes on stage, and she opens with 9 to 5, and that place is going crazy. They're like working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living! Everybody's going nuts, right? And then she does "I'll Always Love You." Great song, Whitney Houston covered it perfectly, but her song is great. The way she sings it is amazing. And that's it. 2 songs. And then gets off stage and leaves. And then and then who's the fucking guy? Who's the guy that did all that work, Jeff, with the black dude, did all the work with like David Bowie,
Niles Rodgers. Yeah.
So he's there. Yeah. And I'm thinking he's going to be the opening act. He ended up carrying the whole concert. So he did like 15 songs. And I didn't realize how many people he's worked with. So it was really cool to kind of whatever. But we were all there to see Dolly. And she did 2 songs and left. And I was just
That's crazy.
It was the craziest thing ever. And it was the Hammerstein Ball 3 years ago.
Was it built that way though?
It was built, and it just had her face. Like when you bought the tickets, it was just her face. It said Dolly Parton live at the house, and then in a little tiny print, it said Niles Rodgers, and that was it.
That's crazy. Something must have happened. The whole tour couldn't have been like that. Something must have happened.
It wasn't a tour. It was just a special night at the Hammerstein Ballroom. But they built it. They got my money. She wasn't sick.
There had to be some reason.
She wasn't sick. She just sang 2 songs and she left. I'm not making it up. And it was like crazy. I was like, come on.
That's a little bit weird.
I'd be pretty pissed. Another rock and roll Hall of Famer, Niles Rodgers is great.
Niles Rodgers is great. And you know what? In the end, we all had a good time. because Niles Rodgers was phenomenal. That cat can play, and like he's been associated with the Talking Heads and David Bowie and Duran Duran. You know, that guy has done so much work. So it was cool watching him. But they just it was a bait and switch. You know, Dolly was happened to be there because it was like a foundation thing. So it was a special event kind of thing. So it was like Dolly Parton was the draw, but you know, to get you to buy the ticket, and maybe the ticket was going to some cause or whatever. But anyway, they should have said, hey, she's only going to do a short set. They should have said that, but they didn't. They made it all about Dolly. And then, you know, but it was fun. But, you know, but she could have played a little longer. She could have done she didn't even do Jolene. She could have done that, you know? She
could have done Jolene, yeah.
Jolene, whatever. She could have done that. She didn't do it. It was rough. Damn. Yeah, so there you go. Dwight Yoakam, I saw him play. He played for 2.5 hours. Because he cares about his audience. Dolly don't care. She's just cashing that money.
So we got some more country artists here. We got Chris Christopherson.
Yes.
We have
Highwaymen.
Terrible singer, but great songwriter.
Let's see. We got Phoenix Feathers 420 says new country Trace Atkins.
Trace Atkins is fun. He's fun.
Yeah. Honky tonk badonka donk.
I'm sure Anthony would hate him.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun. You know, it's not Dwight Yoakam or anything, but he's a good time. He's a good time.
And we got Tasty Snacks with Shania Twain.
Okay. Canadian country music.
Talented.
But you know what? That don't impress me much.
Finally. Yeah. Is that right? She's good. She's a good singer. I mean, I don't know. It's not something I would listen to. I had a ex-girlfriend. She was really into her. So I got kind of like Shania Twained out, but she was popular for a minute. She really was. I don't know if she wrote her songs or whatever, but probably not. I feel like she was manufactured out of Canada.
It seems like she wouldn't, but maybe she did.
Who is the guy that produced Def Leppard?
You're supposed to know this, Jeff.
These
are things you know, Jeff. That's why you're on the show. You're the guy that knows that.
Yeah, that's who she was. That's who she was. And his name escapes me, but that's who she was.
Robert John Lang.
Mutt Lang.
Mutt Lang. Yeah.
So he produced her albums.
Did everything.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, she feels very manufactured. She's kind of Britney Spears to me. Like it just feels very manufactured. Like it's good. It's good country music. You know, pop. It's country pop radio music. You know, it's good. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to go out of my way for it, but it's good. But yeah, country's. You know, country music. Like I said, a lot of people. You know, I didn't think Anthony would like it, but. You know, but you really need to look. You need to go down and dive. I'll send you some Dwight songs that I think you'll be a little more into. But definitely check out his Purple Rain. That cover is phenomenal.
I'm interested to check it out.
You know, because he does. Rain. You know, it's bluegrass, and he can play everything. Bluegrass, you know, old school country. Like he can really kind of he's all over the map. But cool, man. All right. So is that enough of the Dwight talk? So this, you know, being the new year, I thought it was important that we kind of found some new music because I feel like, you know, a lot of times you just listen to the same old shit because you're just used to listening to your favorites. And so I asked everybody to kind of like, you know, scroll through their Apple Music or their, you know, streaming services and try to find something they'd never listened to before and just something that kind of caught their ear and then they kind of like went down and started getting into the band. And so I think I find a lot of music that way. A lot of times I'll just search words and like something will come up. I'll just put in blue or whatever and some thing will come up. And so that's why I find a lot of music because it's like, you know, we're not all listening to the radio as much as we used to. So it's hard to find. And even the radio feels very like just narrow. Two bands that I found that I just didn't know much about. Lord Huron, which is a band, a surf rock band out of California, Los Angeles. I think I'm saying it right. Lord Huron. Their last album, 2021, they have a new album, and called Long Lost. Lord Huron, and it's very cool. It's kind of like it's surf rock, but it also has kind of a Neil Young sound to it. And so if you get a chance, very cool. And on the theme of country, Grinsky Bluegrass is a band that I found, and they have a 2022 album, just came out this month. and it's called Stress Dreams, which I feel is Anthony's life. And it's a 5-piece bluegrass band, and but it's bluegrass, but it's hard. Like you feel like they play the banjo like they're playing a flying V, you know.
I love it.
It has a very kind of spirit of rock and roll, but they're doing it with all bluegrass instruments. And so Grinsky Bluegrass and Lord Huron are my two random finds that I found this year. And Anthony, what'd you find?
I found today I found a band that I had never heard of before.
Great.
And I'm loving this. Okay, this band is called Mean Jeans.
Okay.
And they have the album that I stumbled on is called Jingles Collection. And so
Jingles
this band
Collection.
is like they sound, it's basically they're trying to be the Ramones now. They're like a contemporary band, and they sound so much like the Ramones. And so this Jingles Collection is every song is about a different famous product, and they do these.
Oh, that's fun.
Like punk rock jingles. So, there's one about like Selsun Blue. They have one Mountain Dew, Taco
Short
Bell.
songs.
Nice.
I learned one that's really short. It's not the best song on the album, but this is one called Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets, yeah, Hot Pockets. Got to eat 'em up. Hot Pockets, yeah, Hot Pockets. I got to eat 'em up. So that's one of them.
Music sounds good.
And you don't like Dwight Yoakam? Come on.
But it's just like really like all the stuff you like about the Ramones, like the pop,
sure.
Harmonies and stuff.
And you found this today. All right.
I found this today.
Right. Good.
And their other stuff is not, I don't think it's all like, this is like very
Did Jim
geared
Gaffigan
towards a
write that
comedy
song?
audience. Yeah. The other stuff doesn't seem like it's as comedy focused.
Okay.
But also just all very fun.
You always
punk rock
find
stuff.
bands that sound like you. Like I feel you're the most narcissistic person I've ever met in my life.
It sounds like what I'm doing. Or is it that I just
what I'm doing? I love them.
Or is it that I just figured out how to do the kind of music that I like to hear?
Maybe. Jeff,
Good comeback, Anthony.
What'd you find, Jeff?
I'm kind of like you. I'm sticking with the country theme, and I got turned on to Eric Church. I had never really listened to him. I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a fan because I didn't know him. And he came out with an album last year in 2022 called Heart and Soul. And there was a song that called Stick That in Your Country Song, which was really good. Really, really good. More like a country rock type of song, but dealt with kind of like social issues. I thought he was really good. And then I went back and listened to some back catalog stuff, and the song Springsteen that came out in 2012 was really good. And it's really a song about a relationship that revolves around the songs of Bruce Springsteen. But I really liked him, and and I'm glad I got a chance to kind of give him a listen. I'll check him out a little bit more.
He's good, man. He's kind of part of that kind of Stapleton and all those guys. Like he's the newer kind of good guys in country music for sure. Yeah, he's cool.
I never listened to him before you said, hey, look this look up some new music, and I gave him a shot, and I'm glad
we're gonna do this all the time. I think it's gonna broaden our catalogs. I think it's good.
It's fun. It's fun checking out new stuff.
Very cool. Adam, what do you got, buddy? What'd you find?
All right, so I heard this band Good Morning on Sirius XMU. I heard this song Country, which to me it sounded a bit like a little bit of Springsteen, a little bit of Gaslight Anthem. And so right away jumped to Apple Music. Their album's called Barnyard. They're a Melbourne indie rock duo. And, their music is, it's some of it's acoustic. It's very DIY. There's a bit of Kurt Vile, some of the Strokes and a couple of the songs. A little bit of Spoon and some Jeff Tweedy too. So they're nice. They have a lot of different sounds, and to me, I thought this was a great album. Definitely one to check out.
That'd have been funny if you said like Pink Floyd or something like you'd never heard.
All right.
That's what I was wondering, if somebody would be like, "This is this band." I never. Yeah. Very cool.
Who is this Cream?
Yeah, Nickelback. Their new band. Just heard them.
I gotta
very
check
cool.
them out.
Yeah, if you guys have any new bands you want to like throw at us, we'd love to hear that for next time. But thank you so much listening to Dustin's Vinyl. It's been a fun one. Good. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm glad we're still here. We've been still doing this show and thinking, maybe next year we'll have 15 listeners. That's the goal. Trying to get up 15 downloads. So thanks for listening and check out all our social media stuff. And all right, let's keep rocking, guys. Woo! Anthony, do something rocky. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just
play
play
Hot
the
Pocket song again.
Hot Pockets, yeah, Hot Pockets. I got to eat them up.
Hot Pockets. All right, guys. I got COVID.
I can't wait
All right,
for
thank you. Take care, everybody.
Pop-Tarts.
Love you guys. Rock and roll.